The Urban Butler was born in 2016 when I was traveling in Europe for an extended period and sort of noticed the much better level of quality of Airbnbs and the like in Europe. Then settling down in New Zealand when we came back, purchased a small one-bedroom investment apartment in Richmond Road in Ponsonby, and that just started going crazy on Airbnb, and that was really the moment that I decided that I thought there was a viable business there. Yeah, one particular moment in that European trip really sticks in my mind, and that was checking in at about 10 p.m. in Barcelona. It was a hot summer's night. A guy came and met us and showed us through the apartment, the little balcony and everything. And then as he was kind of leaving, he said, "Oh, look, here's Lonely Planet's list of restaurants, and here's ours." And then he just started to go through them and say, "This is where you get the best tapas. This is where you get the best aperitivo. This is where you get the best coffee. And then, here's where you get the bus. Make sure you visit this place, blah, blah, blah." And then when he left, 10 o'clock in Spain is sort of dinner time. So we were heading out to get something to eat. Where should we go? Well, if he recommends the tapas place downstairs, then we should go there. And automatically you're not flicking through TripAdvisor and that sort of thing and working something out on other people's reviews. You're relying on a local, and that was really that was the motivation. It was to give the guests insights into the local environment that they may not pick up themselves if they're just popping in for 2 or 3 days or whatever it is. Honesty is the best policy, and we have just been showing potential new owners how we have bounced back, what comparable properties were doing on a monthly basis prior to COVID, what they were doing during COVID, and how quickly they've bounced back. And that's given confidence to a lot of new owners. In saying that as well, we also have 3 or 4 owners that are bringing in extra properties to us because we've managed to see them through, like I said, uncharted travel territory, and that's encouraging as well. Interestingly, I spoke to, maybe 12 months ago, caught up with a property manager from Sydney, and he was over here. We went to get something to eat and had a chat, and he's got a similar business, but it's more corporate and more sort of, I would say, service apartment. And just a throwaway comment during that meal was something along the lines of, eventually we will just be a software company. And I didn't really sort of take it in at the time, but now since COVID, and before COVID as well, but since COVID, been forced to use technology a lot more. And that's not only doing Zoom calls, but we've got tablets that are now going into all of our apartments. They're basically an electronic house book. In there, there's a rental agreement at the beginning. It's also got all the body corporate rules in there. It's got all of our recommended affiliated restaurants and other businesses like dry cleaning and that sort of thing. We're also using other software in terms of analytics and really drilling down into the data and just seeing where our clients are coming from, demographics, everything else. So it's becoming more and more data driven. The bricks and mortar business that's run on technology, basically. Yeah. It's going to be for us, more luxury, more hands-on to a degree with the guest in terms of concierge type services. Maybe some bespoke tours that we've been talking about doing prior to COVID. You're at that event that we did in early March. It was a great event, poorly timed, unfortunately. We didn't know that at the time. So, moving more towards that sort of I would say, you know, mid to high end sort of experiences, and less of your less of the sort of lower end, which we see as a bit more of a commodity in a very competitive market.